Most people drink coffee to wake up, focus, or feel ready for the day, but few realize how much more their coffee could do with a few simple tweaks. Every scoop of powder you add can completely change what that cup delivers. Not just more energy, but stronger focus, steadier moods, and even better joint and gut health. Today, millions of people around the world start their morning with coffee, but many rely on sugar and creamers that drain energy later in the day. What if the same cup could instead feed your brain, balance hormones, and calm stress? That's exactly what happens when you add the right powders. Recent nutrition data shows that certain natural powders can sharpen alertness, smooth digestion, and support long-term wellness when taken daily. For example, some of these ingredients are linked to lower inflammation, improved memory, and more stable energy. Others can protect cells from oxidative stress or even help your body respond better to daily pressure. This isn't about trendy superfoods or unrealistic claims. It's about making your coffee smarter, using ingredients that work quietly inside your body while you go about your day. A few teaspoons can shift how you feel, how long your energy lasts, and how clearly you think. In this video, you'll learn about 10 powerful powders that turn your regular coffee into a nutrient-packed drink for your brain, heart, and metabolism. These are not rare or expensive. Most are available online or at local stores. If you want to boost focus, reduce stress, or simply make your morning coffee work harder for you, type YES in the comments. And let's start with the first powder. Number 1. MCT oil powder. MCT oil powder is a powdered form of medium-chain triglycerides made so it dissolves in hot or cold drinks and blends smoothly into coffee. People add it to coffee to get steady energy from fat, to curb mid-morning hunger, and to create a creamy texture without dairy. The fats in MCT are absorbed differently from typical long-chain dietary fats. They move more quickly from the gut to the liver and are more likely to be used for immediate energy. That means a coffee with MCT powder can provide calories that don't spike blood sugar the way a sugary snack would, and some people find that helps maintain focus in the hours after their morning cup. Start small. A single scoop, typically 5 to 10 grams depending on brand, is enough for a first trial. Too much at once can cause loose stools or cramps for people who are not used to concentrated fats. Mix MCT powder into hot coffee and stir, or use a handheld frother or blender if you prefer a latte texture. For cold coffee, dissolving the powder in a small splash of hot water before adding ice helps avoid clumps. Taste-wise, MCT powder is mostly neutral with a mild creamy note. It won't add a strong flavor, so it pairs easily with other add-ins like collagen, cinnamon, or cacao. Because it adds calories, often 50 to 100 calories per scoop, track intake if weight loss is a goal. Many users report feeling less hunger and steadier energy for several hours after a morning coffee with MCT. That effect comes both from the fat providing steady calories and from delayed gastric emptying that slows how quickly food leaves the stomach. People on low-carb or ketogenic plans often like MCT because it supports ketone production more than long-chain fats. If you have liver disease, check with a clinician before starting, since MCTs are processed in the liver. If you have digestive sensitivity, begin with a quarter scoop and build up over several days. To pick a product, look for powders that state the MCT sources clearly. C8, caprylic acid, or a mix of C8 and C10, capric acid, are common. And avoid long ingredient lists or artificial fillers if you want a clean option. Some powders include soluble fibers or prebiotic starches to cut greasiness. Those can help texture but may cause gas in sensitive people. Use MCT once a day in your morning coffee if you want a steady boost, or rotate fats throughout your week for variety and broader nutrient coverage. If you blend MCT with collagen, add MCT first, froth, then stir in collagen to avoid clumps. Over time, users learn the dose that supports appetite control and focus without causing digestive upset. Number 2, collagen peptides. Collagen peptides are hydrolyzed fragments of the structural protein collagen sourced from bovine, marine, chicken, or porcine materials. They dissolve in hot liquids with no strong taste, which makes them a practical addition to coffee if you want to add protein focused on connective tissue support. Collagen supplies key amino acids such as glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline that the body uses to repair or maintain tendons, ligaments, cartilage, skin, nails, and hair. It is not a complete protein because it lacks adequate tryptophan, so use it to complement a balanced protein intake rather than as your sole protein source. Typical daily servings range from 10 to 20 grams. 1 scoop in coffee is the usual routine. Reported benefits appear gradually with consistent use. Many people who take collagen daily for 8 to 12 weeks notice firmer skin, stronger nails, and less joint discomfort in daily tasks. Dissolve collagen in hot coffee and stir or blend. If you drink cold brew, dissolve collagen in a small amount of hot water first, then add cold coffee. If animal sourcing matters for you, choose hydrolyzed collagen from grass-fed bovine or sustainably sourced marine collagen and check labels for third-party testing. People who follow vegetarian or vegan diets cannot use animal collagen, though plant-based supplements claim to support collagen production indirectly via vitamin C, zinc, and specific amino acids. If you have kidney disease or must limit protein intake, talk with a clinician before adding daily collagen. Keep in mind that collagen is a supplement, not a medical treatment. For chronic joint disease, you should follow medical advice while using supplements as supportive measures. Combining collagen with vitamin C supports natural collagen synthesis, so pairing a vitamin C-rich meal or snack with your supplement can make practical sense. For texture, hydrolyzed peptides dissolve cleanly in hot coffee and create a silky mouthfeel rather than a gritty one. Avoid flavored collagen powders that add excess sugar if you want to keep your coffee low in carbs. Store opened collagen in a cool, dry place to prevent clumping. If you notice no change after several months, evaluate total protein intake and overall nutrition. Collagen tends to help most when it fills a gap in dietary amino acids or when tissue repair demand is higher due to activity. Number 3, turmeric curcumin powder. Turmeric powder adds a warm, slightly bitter and earthy note to coffee and delivers small amounts of curcumin, the plant compound most studied for effects on inflammation and oxidative stress. Culinary turmeric in a coffee cup provides a modest curcumin dose, so for measurable clinical levels, many people choose standardized curcumin supplements. Still, adding turmeric to coffee gives daily, food-based exposure and a pleasant flavor contrast when balanced with black pepper, cinnamon, or a dash of sweetener. Curcumin is fat-soluble, so pairing turmeric with a small fat source, MCT powder, or a splash of milk improves absorption. Piperine from black pepper markedly increases curcumin uptake, so a pinch of ground black pepper in the drink boosts effectiveness compared with turmeric alone. To avoid gritty texture, use a finely ground powder or prepare a small paste by simmering turmeric with water, which can be stored in the fridge and added to coffee by the teaspoon. For those new to turmeric, start with 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon in coffee and adjust to taste. People who take blood thinners, have gallstones, or are on medications should check with a clinician, since concentrated curcumin can interact with some drugs and affect bile flow. Culinary turmeric rarely causes problems, but high-dose supplements require more caution. Flavor pairings that work well include cinnamon, vanilla, and a small sweetener if you prefer. Turmeric stains easily, so use darker cups or rinse immediately. If you aim for daily comfort in joints or mild inflammation, the food-based route can fit into a broader dietary plan, but serious conditions need medical care and often higher standardized doses under supervision. For cold preparations, dissolve turmeric paste in a small hot water portion first to keep the texture smooth, then add cold coffee over ice. Over weeks, some people notice reduced occasional stiffness or improved digestion, though effects vary and depend on dose and absorption enhancers such as black pepper and fat. Number 4, cocoa or cacao powder. Unsweetened cocoa or raw cacao powder turns coffee into a mocha-style drink and introduces flavonols, magnesium, and theobromine into your cup. Flavonols are plant compounds linked to improved blood flow and may support mood and cognitive clarity for some people. Theobromine provides a gentler, longer-lasting lift than caffeine for many users, and combined with coffee's caffeine, it can create layered alertness that some find smoother and less jittery. Use 1 to 2 teaspoons of unsweetened cocoa in hot coffee, dissolve in a small amount of hot water or milk first to avoid clumps, then stir or froth. Raw cacao has a deeper and more complex flavor but is more bitter. Dutch processed cocoa is milder but may have fewer flavonols. Add a small pinch of salt or cinnamon to round the flavor and avoid high sugar mixes if you want a health-forward drink. Cocoa pairs well with MCT and collagen, creating a richer mouthfeel and adding antioxidants and trace minerals. People with reflux may find cocoa triggers symptoms, so test tolerance. If you are sensitive to stimulants, remember the combined caffeine and theobromine load can be higher than coffee alone. For cold drinks, blend cocoa with a splash of hot water before adding cold brew. Choose single ingredient powders without added sugar for more control over calories and effects. Some people notice improved mood and a mild boost to focus after making cacao a part of their daily routine, while others primarily enjoy the taste and the satisfying feel of a richer coffee. If magnesium is a goal, cacao contributes modest amounts, but not a replacement for dietary sources like leafy greens, nuts, and seeds. Number 5, reishi mushroom powder. Reishi is a dried and powdered extract from Ganoderma species used in traditional herbal systems and modern supplement blends. In coffee, reishi adds an earthy, slightly bitter layer that many people balance with fats, cocoa, or sweeteners. Typical use is a small dose, 1/2 to 1 teaspoon per cup, because reishi extracts are concentrated and flavors are strong. Reishi contains beta-glucans and other compounds that influence immune signaling and stress response over time, rather than producing immediate stimulant or sedative effects. People who use reishi regularly report calmer evenings, more stable responses to daily stress, and modest support for sleep patterns when used consistently. Effects are subtle and usually build over weeks. This makes reishi more of a daily support than an on-demand fix. If you are taking immunosuppressant drugs, blood thinners, or have autoimmune conditions, check with a clinician before starting regular use because mushroom compounds can interact with medications or immune function. Choose extracts that list fruiting body ratios and avoid cheap powders made primarily from mycelium grown on grain, since fruiting body extracts typically have higher levels of active compounds. To improve flavor in coffee, mix reishi with MCT, cocoa, or a touch of honey and blend well to eliminate grit. Cycling use, taking it daily for a period, then pausing, works well for some people to assess benefit. Reishi is not a substitute for medical treatment, but it can be part of a broader plan to support resilience to stress and sleep quality when used responsibly and with attention to interactions. Number 6, lion's mane mushroom powder. Lion's mane is a mushroom extract often taken for brain support. It has a mild, slightly sweet, seafood-like aroma in pure form, though most people describe the flavor as earthy and neutral when mixed into coffee. Use a quality powder made from fruiting bodies, not just mycelium on grain. Typical doses range from 500 milligrams to 3,000 milligrams per day, depending on extract strength. Follow the product label. Start small, about 500 to 1,000 milligrams in your first cup, and increase as you assess tolerance. Mixing is simple. Add the powder to hot coffee and stir or blend. Use a frother for a smooth texture. Lion's mane pairs well with MCT, collagen, or a small splash of milk, which helps mask the earthiness and creates a fuller mouthfeel. For cold drinks, dissolve the powder in a little hot water or blend with a small amount of warm liquid before adding ice. What people report after regular use is clearer thinking, milder mental fatigue, and faster task switching. Effects are typically gradual, appearing over weeks with consistent daily intake. Some users say they feel more mentally steady during long work sessions or that they recover focus faster after distractions. These are subjective reports, evidence varies and depends on product quality. Safety is usually good for most adults. Side effects are rare but can include mild stomach upset or allergic reactions in people sensitive to fungi. If you take blood thinners or have autoimmune conditions, check with a clinician before starting, since mushroom extracts can interact with some medications. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, get medical advice first. Product choice matters. Look for standardized extracts that list beta-glucan content or specify the extract ratio, e.g. 10:1. Prefer powders from fruiting bodies and third-party tested for contaminants. Avoid blends that hide poor quality material behind fillers. Store in a cool, dry place. Use guidelines. Take lion's mane with your first coffee for daytime focus. If you train your brain with work or study after your cup, you may notice incremental benefits. Combine it with good sleep, regular exercise, and protein-rich meals to support overall cognitive health. Lion's mane is a long-term habit, not a one-off booster. Track changes in attention, clarity, and fatigue over weeks to judge effectiveness. Number 7, maca root powder. Maca is a root from the Andes sold as a fine powder. It tastes nutty, slightly sweet, and earthy. People add it to coffee to get a mild energy lift, improve stamina, or a hormone balancing effect. Standard culinary doses are 1 to 3 teaspoons per day, about 3 to 9 grams. Start at the lower end and increase over a week. Use gelatinized maca if you have a sensitive stomach. That form is easier to digest. Maca mixes best when stirred into hot coffee and blended briefly. It dissolves more readily when the coffee is hot and a frother or blender is used. Flavor blends well with cocoa, cinnamon, or vanilla. If you want to keep calories low, skip sugar and use a small sweetener if needed. Users report steadier energy through the morning and improved endurance in workouts or daily tasks. Some people find maca supports libido and sexual energy. Others notice smoother mood swings. Effects on hormones are subtle and vary by individual. If you have hormone-sensitive conditions or take hormone therapy, consult a clinician before regular use. Safety is generally good for short-term use. Avoid high doses if you have thyroid disease unless you use maca tested for low goitrogen content. Talk to your healthcare provider. Pregnant or nursing people should check with a clinician before starting. If you take blood pressure or psychiatric medications, get medical advice to rule out interactions. Choose maca powders that specify origin, Peru is common, and processing, raw versus gelatinized. Darker maca types, red-black, have slightly different nutrient profiles and anecdotal effects. Try small amounts to see which suits you. Store in a dry, dark spot to preserve freshness. Use maca in morning coffee when you want gentle energy and a fuller taste. Track stamina, mood, and libido over several weeks. Maca gives a natural, steady lift rather than a jittery spike. It works best as part of a balanced diet and regular activity. Number 8, spirulina powder. Spirulina is a blue-green algae powder high in protein, vitamins, and minerals. It has a strong marine green taste that can be intense in coffee, so many people add small amounts, 1/2 to 1 teaspoon, or mix spirulina into a second, milder cup or smoothie. Spirulina contributes iron, B vitamins, and a concentrated protein boost, useful if you want a nutrient-dense addition to your routine. Because the flavor is potent, pair spirulina with stronger flavors in coffee. Cocoa, cinnamon, or a splash of milk help mask the ocean notes. For cold coffee, blend spirulina with a bit of warm water or a creamy base before adding cold brew and ice to avoid clumps. Benefits reported by users include better nutrient status, especially iron and B vitamins, a small lift in baseline energy, and improved recovery for active people when used alongside protein and carbs after workouts. Spirulina's antioxidants can support general metabolic health, though individual outcomes vary. Safety concerns. Spirulina must come from reputable sources. Poorly produced spirulina can carry microcystins or heavy metals if harvested from contaminated water. Choose brands with third-party testing for purity. Those with autoimmune conditions or on immunomodulating drugs should consult a clinician because spirulina can stimulate immune activity. People with phenylketonuria, PKU, should avoid it due to its amino acid profile. Use spirulina as a targeted nutrient boost rather than a daily staple unless you verify quality and tolerance. Start with small doses and increase only if taste and digestion are acceptable. Keep an eye on stool color changes, common and harmless, and report any unusual symptoms to your clinician. Number 9, matcha green tea powder. Matcha is finely ground green tea leaves that produce a grassy umami flavor and a clean caffeine lift. Unlike brewed tea, matcha gives you the whole leaf, so you get more caffeine, amino acids, notably L-theanine, and antioxidants. In coffee, matcha creates a layered caffeine profile. Coffee's fast caffeine spike plus matcha's L-theanine smoothing effect can reduce jitters and support steady focus. Start with 1/2 teaspoon to 1 teaspoon per cup mixed into hot coffee. Use a whisk or frother to dissolve the matcha evenly. Matcha pairs well with milk, collagen, or MCT. For cold drinks, dissolve matcha in a small amount of hot water first, then mix with cold brew and ice. Pick ceremonial grade matcha for flavor if you drink it alone. Culinary grade works fine for blends. Benefits many users note include steady alertness, better concentration without the edge that some get from coffee alone, and a calm focus that lasts for hours. L-theanine in matcha supports relaxation without sleepiness, giving a balance to caffeine's stimulant effect. Safety is good for most people at moderate doses. Avoid very high intakes due to caffeine content. If you're sensitive to caffeine, reduce the amount or use half a regular coffee dose. Pregnant or breastfeeding people should watch total caffeine intake and consult a clinician if unsure. Choose fresh, bright green matcha stored in sealed packaging to preserve antioxidants. Avoid low-quality green powders that taste bitter or grassy. Use matcha in morning or early afternoon to combine focus and calm. Number 10, ashwagandha powder. Ashwagandha is an adaptogenic herb traditionally used to support stress response and sleep. The flavor is warm, earthy, and slightly bitter. Many people mix it into coffee with a sweetener, cocoa, or MCT to balance taste. Typical doses range from 300 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams of standardized extract per day. If using raw powder, 1/2 to 1 teaspoon per cup is a common starting point. Follow the product label for standardized extracts. Users report reduced daytime stress, calmer reactions to pressure, and small improvements in sleep when taken consistently. Effects build over weeks. Ashwagandha can blunt excessive stress responses, helping some people maintain clearer thinking during busy periods without feeling sedated. Safety notes: avoid ashwagandha if you are pregnant. If you have autoimmune disease, thyroid disorders, or are on sedatives or blood pressure medications, consult a clinician before use because ashwagandha can interact with some drugs and affect hormone or immune pathways. Start at a low dose to check tolerance. Choose standardized extracts that list with analyzed content or opt for quality raw powders from trusted brands. If taste is an issue, blend ashwagandha into a drink with MCT, cocoa, or a touch of sweetener. Use it daily for several weeks to evaluate effects on stress, sleep, and general steadiness. If you learned something new today, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more simple ways to upgrade your daily health habits. Drop a comment below and tell us which powder you're planning to try in your coffee tomorrow morning. We read every one. And before you go, make sure to watch the next video on your screen where we'll show you exactly what to add to your coffee to build muscle fast. You won't want to miss it.